When I read this, I was like, "Oh, girl, I'm so over her." You know what I mean? Akbar V is not divorcing her husband. If you don't know who Akbar V is, it's fine. No one really does. She is a Atlanta rapper. She does not have, to my knowledge, any big singles or anything like that. I think she more has a social media presence. That's why I reserve the right to not call people famous and celebrities if they're not really known outside of a small group of people. You know what I mean? I think there is this urge to call people celebrities and famous because they're known amongst your algorithm, but you go out into the real world, outside of the internet, and people don't know these people. You know what I mean? So I will refrain from saying that. She is an Atlanta rapper who has some popularity on the internet. That is where I'll leave that. Now, prior to this, in reading this, right, she had previously come out, which I had seen, but she had previously come out and said that her husband was abusive, beating her down and all this, that, and the third. I feel like she shared pictures, but please do not quote me on that. But, she went out and she said all of the things, okay? She then turned around now recently and put out an Instagram post basically trying to dispel everything, right? I'm going to go and read that real quick because it's long, so bear with me, but I just feel like it's necessary for how we're going to discuss this, okay? So she says, "First, I want to apologize to my husband for the stuff I posted out of hurt and anger. We have both done things to each other. Off top, we don't give a fuck. If you want to apologize to your husband, apologize to your husband." I understand the saying of like the apology has to be louder than the offense. I totally understand, but there's also times where like we don't care. Like y'all have to stop opening the door to your private life to the public. Enough. You know what I mean? Lock the door and leave us out of it. If you left us out of it from the go, we wouldn't need this. There would be no need for the apology to be louder than the offense if you would have left us out of it from the giddy up, from the go. You following me? All right. So she wants to start off with apologizing to her husband. She says, that was wrong. Second, I'm gonna apologize to my fans. Who? Sorry. Okay. Who really love me and my haters. I had no right to put y'all in my business. Exactly. But here you are putting us right back in the place you said we had no business to be. But okay. Only the married folks are going to understand this. I'm going to stop pausing but hold on to that part. Okay. Only the married folks. Hold on to that part. Are going to understand this post, but hopefully you all understand. I did not give my marriage 100% when my husband asked me to stop the divorce. I said I'm going to give it 100% because I know I didn't do it the first time. I did a lot of stuff that wasn't right. I'm not a victim. Yes, me and him put hands on each other. Part 2. Hold on to that, okay? But I'm definitely not desperate for a man. 3. Actually, that might be 1. Just hold on to that too, okay? Put a pin in that. I'm definitely not desperate for a man, and I don't need the sympathy card. I'm learning this thing we call life every day. I'm learning to be a wife, still don't have everything down pat. If my marriage failed today, at least I know I have tried and gave it 100%. But guess what? I'm trying and Jesus will do the rest. Love all y'all. Thanks for listening. Side note, being pleasing to God is way more important than me being pleasing to man. Akbar. Akbar. Girl, please. Please don't nobody give no fucks about that, okay? First up, only the married folks are gonna understand this post. Let me clarify something for y'all real quick. Foolish shit can be identified by anybody. Stupidity can be identified by anybody. It does not take someone being in a relationship and or married to identify foolish and stupid shit. Let's start there, okay? So when y'all want to put on, "Oh, you're not in a marriage, you're not married, so you wouldn't understand." No, I understand. What I'm looking at is tomfoolery at its highest level. I understand that part. Okay. And if you want me to believe that I can't identify what's taking place just because I'm not married, then girl, you are sadly mistaken. Anybody can identify that type of nonsense. You know what I'm saying? What you're telling me is if I've never been in a circus or been a clown, I can't go to the circus and point out and say that's a clown. I can. I can walk by, see a tent and say, "Ooh, that looks like looks like a circus." I can walk to the door, peek in and say, "Oh yeah, this is a circus because there goes some clown shit happening." But you're telling me I never went to clown school, so how can I identify a clown? If it walked like a duck, if it quacked like a duck, what is it, Akbar? It's going to be a duck. You see what I'm saying? So please, please, y'all, stop with the you're not in a relationship, you're not married, don't listen to your single friends. I can call out some crazy shit happening and tell you it's crazy. I don't have to be married to do so. That's point one. Point two, but I'm definitely not desperate for a man. Women, I hope, are y'all still gathered and close? If not, pull your chairs back up. Listen in, okay? It's okay to admit you're desperate because when you're desperate, then and only then can you really say, oh, I'm doing some clown shit. Somehow, my desperation has led me to be a part of this circus. It has led me to be into some foolishness. You went on to say, me and my husband have put hands on each other. But you want me to believe it's not desperation. Then what is it? Then what is it? You see what I'm saying? I want Black women specifically to get real about their issues, to get real about their conditions, to get real about what's going on around them. Being desperate isn't the worst thing, but it will lead you to do some of the worst things. So identify it, identify where you lack so you know what you're doing to feel full. Because if you're pretending that you lack nothing, you're going to continue to thirst. I can tell you, I'm thirsty for XYZ. Now, am I handling that thirst and am I getting quenched in a healthy way? Or am I going to the wrong places? Because as we know, right, you can be thirsty and drink a bunch of soda and still feel thirsty. That's why you keep going back to the kitchen to get you another can, to get you another glass of juice, because that's not really quenching your thirst. Are you following me? But if you go and get that glass of water, come on, let me preach to him. If you go and get that glass of water, and if you like me, I like mine with a little bit of ice, real ice cold. You understand? That water is going to sustain and it's going to hit a little bit different. But I knew what I was thirsting for, and I went and got the proper thing. So it's okay to be desperate, and it's okay to lack. Understood? But what we need to do is identify where we lack, what our habits for feeling full are, and is that a healthy habit? Because if you lack love, if you lack a sense of having attention, right? You're going to accept love and accept attention from the wrong places. So your desperation is going to lead you to do something worse because you are afraid to identify it in the first place. You understand? All right. Last but not least, Akbar, you said, but guess what? I'm trying and Jesus will do the rest. Hear me out. Don't stop there. And you're a rapper. You could string some bars together, okay? You know the metaphors. Jesus will do the rest, but what? won't bless no what? Can I hit? He won't bless no mess. He ain't gonna bless no mess, baby girl. Hear me out. He's not going to bless it. Okay. He'll do the rest, which may be him trying to get you away from him, get you away from this man that you want to first off come out and apologize to. And he had you at a low place. He did. But your desperation, it sprung up out of you again, what you refused to identify. But let me tell you, he tried to pull you out of it. And that's why you got to social media and you got to telling all your dirty laundry because you had had enough. And you were right there. You were right there, right almost out the door. But that thirst called you back to something else. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I think we need to be honest. Let's not put Bible on things that don't need to be on, okay? Because God, like I always say, he's not the author of confusion and he's not the author of no nonsense. You understand? So this to me, straight nonsense, baby girl. This don't make no sense. This don't make no sense. And unfortunately, you did invite the public into your drama. And hey, we're here now. But I just want to give you, I do believe you are older than me, maybe not by much, but I just want to give you some cousinly, friendly, you know what I mean, sister to sister type advice. You are desperate, you do have a thirst, and you need to identify it. And this can go for any woman in any situation. We're all seeking something, you know what I mean? Desperate comes when you don't realize how thirsty you are, right? You don't realize how bad you need to fulfill some need, and it becomes this longing, this desperation to have it, and you go and you might build an unhealthy habit in the process. Akbar, I do wish you well. And any girl in this situation, I wish you well. Just make sure you can identify why you keep going back, where you lack, and what you need to do better. Okay? All right. Next up.